जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी।
जय गोपी जन
जय गोपी जना वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दन व्रज
जय जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय। निताय पतित पावन और हरि भगवान की जय। जय श्री राधा गोपी भगवान की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 Hare Krishna, welcome everyone for the morning Bhagavatam class. So I seek blessings from all the great senior Vaishnavas and devotees who have joined here in person and in Zoom so that I can speak before you and we can discuss among ourselves about these transcendental pastimes narrated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll be discussing on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 14, verse number 28. 4:14:28 तस्मान् मां कर्मभिर्विप्रा
तस्मान् कर्मभिर्विप्रा
तस्मान् मां कर्मभिर्विप्रा
तस्मान् मां कर्मभिर्विप्रा
यजध्वं गतमत्सरः
यजध्वं गतमत्सरा
यजध्वं गतमत्सरः
यजध्वं गतमत्सरा
बलिं च मह्यं हरत बलिं
बलिं
च मह्यं हरत बलिं च मह्यं हरत
बलि च मह्यतं हरत
मत्तो अन्य को अग्रभुक् पुमान् 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 तस्मान् मां कर्मभिर्विप्रा
तस्मान् मां कर्मभिर्विप्रा
यजध्वं गतमत्सरः
यजध्वं गतमत्सरा
बलिं च मह्यं हरत
बलिं च मह्यं हरत
मत्तोऽन्यः कोऽग्रभुक् पुमान्
मत्तोऽन्यः कोऽग्रभुक् पुमान् तस्मान्ना कर्मभिर्विप्रा
तस्मान् मां कर्मभिर्विप्रा
यजध्वं गतमत्सरा
यजध्वं गतमत्सरः
बलिं च मह्यं हरता
बलिं च मह्यं हरत
मत्तोऽन्यः कोऽग्रभुक् पुमान्
मत्तोऽन्यः कोऽग्रभुक् पुमान्. Synonyms. What would meaning? Tasmat,
तस्मात्
for this reason. Mam, me. Karmabhi, by ritualistic activities. Vipraha, O Brahmanas. Yajadhvam, worship. Gata, without. Matsara, being envious. Balim, paraphernalia for worship. Cha, also. Mahyam, unto me. Harata, bring. Mattaha, then me. Anyaha, other. Ka, who is. Agrabhuk, the enjoyer of the first oblations. Puman, personality. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. King Vena continued, for this reason, O Brahmanas, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities, you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As stated by Krishna himself throughout Bhagavad Gita, there is no truth superior to him. King Bena was imitating the Supreme Personality of Godhead and was also speaking out of false pride, presenting himself as the Supreme Lord. These are all characteristics of a demonic person. Again, translation. So King Vena continued, for this reason. So the reason is like the previous verse. So for this reason, O Brahmanas, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities, you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices. In the previous verses 26 and 27, he said, like all the devatas, the Supreme Personality Vishnu also reside in me because I am the king. So for that reason, he is now saying, since everything is in me, I am Paripurna. I am Purushottam. Okay? So there is no deficiency in me. Why are you running after anyone else to do yajnas? Whom will you give? So that's why he said, Tasman Nam Karma Vir Vipra. O Vipras, O Brahmanas, you are very learned, but I think Aapka mati mari gayi. You have been bewildered like anything. You cannot see that all Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Indra, Chandra, Surya, everyone is in me. So I am the first person. So he says, abandon all your envy. Unnecessarily, you are just envious of me. Okay? Like Prabhupada says, he is just exactly imitating Krishna. So all the personalities, if we see all the demoniac people, even in this current society also, whoever has like promoted him as self-proclaimed gods. Okay, what they have done? They have imitated God. It is not that out of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, whatever the Vedic knowledges are there, apart from that they have presented something or they have created something or shown something. but they have just imitated a fraction of like mystic powers or what the Lord has said, just to repeat that and saying that okay, that supreme personality is now me. So you don't need to worship some other person. You can worship me so that you can get the supreme benefits out of me. So that is the grossest ignorance. Okay, but Bhagavad Gita, like Sri Krishna already said, "Ikmattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani ganaiva." So this one again, Vena is quoting here that I am the supreme truth. Okay, there is nothing else which is more superior to me. Okay, so it's exactly like last few slokas. Everything is quoting like from Bhagavad Gita. And sometimes if we see, if someone is not well versed with the transcendental knowledge or Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam and all, even if they are just puffed up with materialistic way of life and they are very rich or so, so they will start promoting themselves in a way that they'll say, okay, why are you worshipping this, that? Okay, so I am maintaining all of you, right? So you worship me, give respect to me, and the people with low intelligence, they also see, okay, I have not seen God, but for me, He is God, because through Him, I got all the facilities. मेरा परिवार चल रहा है, my family runs because of Him. So I have not seen anyone else. So what I will worship that person. And those people, they also start promoting themselves. And they instruct in a way like what Supreme Personality of God has said. So it is natural that if someone is doing something, he feels I am very great. So it is natural to get those pride. And through this way, at least one can understand that there is some controller. There is some controller. It is not that there is no controller. Okay, so like in the current, the completely the academic, the study of science and technology, there is no controller. But it is false. As soon as someone has some authority, some power, or some money, wealth, so he starts to control things. He'll immediately say, okay, I have this much, I have made this company, I have made this fortune. So whoever works here, okay, whoever gets some facilities out of this, he has to obey me. So my rule, my laws will work here. So like that, in that way, if we see, so at least someone should understand that yes, there must be. If the facilities are there, then there should be some controller. So if there is supreme controller, the supreme truth, then there should be some laws. So for that, when we refer the scriptures, then we can get to know who is the supreme truth. Okay. So, like King Bena is falsely claiming, and they also understand, and he'll also get his own medicine. Like, but otherwise, if we see all the demonic people, it is not that they did not have any knowledge. Like in the current world, the people they do not have direct knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or what is the supreme knowledge. They don't have. So they just see that yes, like we have to just study science and technology, make some things, earn money, eat, sleep, marry, and just that's it. There is no superior, nothing. That is very abominable. But earlier, these demonic people, so right from the beginning, so they did not have this kind of grossest ignorance that technology and science by taking only cars, gadgets, and plastics and tires and irons, they were not puffed up. But they have this knowledge. They were reading, but demoniac nature is not accepting that supreme. They know that all these things are there, but somehow or other, they don't have any inclination to accept the supreme truth. And finally, when they have all the power, authority in the society, they think, then why should I have to like obey all the rules? Why should I? I don't see direct intervention of Lord Vishnu. Anything here? I am the king, so I am managing everything. So why should I then again ask Vishnu for or worship Vishnu? So they just remove that point. They just don't accept that there is authority, and they claim themselves as the authority. That is why they are called as the demons, because they are temporary in nature. They will not be living forever. They are not the supreme controller, but for a time being, through illusion, they think that they are only the supreme truth or supreme shelter. But otherwise, when you, under the guidance of the saintly person like Bhrigu and other saintly persons who came to give him the right knowledge, if you would have accepted that, then he would be called as a devotee. But because you do not accept that, like in the current scenario also, like before Prabhupada, there are so many people, they translated Bhagavad Gita and all, but they did not accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And that's why whatever they wrote, they thought, oh, I am so intelligent that I can give purport on these things. Okay? But they were not under the shelter, or they were not under the bona fide disciplic succession. Just because they had some Sanskrit grammatical knowledge. So they thought, okay, anyway, these are only just the slokas. So let us translate. So I am also skilled person. Maybe I Sanskrit ka pandit hu. So I can translate. Why should I follow someone? But the problem is in Sanskrit, if one word is there, then then there will be multiple meanings of that word. So it is said that unless one who is speaking, he tells that this is the meaning of this word on this shastra, no one can understand. If 10 people will see it, then 10 people can make 10 kind of like out of that word, they will make 10 kind of meanings. But what exactly the person wanted to see, only he can see. So that's why if Lord Krishna says, then who can know? His close confidential associates who has nothing in their life, no business in the life but Krishna. If they say, yes, this is it, then that can be accepted. Krishna then again would not come to write purport also. So how can we understand? We can understand like Sridhar Goswami. Sridhar Goswami wrote. Still people said, "Hey, Sridhar Goswami, he is not a scholarly person. वो चरवाहा थे, के गाय चराते थे." So he wrote something like this, and he also wrote. He did not expand it. Like he also wrote in summary. बट दैट वुड मीन दैट उसमें हिंदी में बोलते हैं वो ऐसे लिखते थे कि गागर में सागर भर देते थे। तो
पॉट होता है।
हाँ, तो गागर में सागर भर देते थे। थोड़ा सा समरी में एकदम प्रिसाइज एंड कंसाइज बोलेंगे, उसमें सारा मीनिंग आ जाएगा। तो then when that also people doubted, then when Krishna came in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he clarified. No, Sridhar Goswami's Tika is perfect. So time and again he comes and gives like the and sanction that yes, this is authorized, it can be accepted. So that way when it is like the slokas are translated and given purport by the pure Vaishnavas who has nothing but Krishna in their life. They have no other meaning of life. Otherwise, why someone like Sridhar Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? So they came just to write the pure message, the meaning, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also instructed Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami that you write in detail that how practically one can practice. So through that they get this knowledge. So coming here, so in like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says that I am the supreme truth, Mattah Parataram Namyat. Without me there is no one else. But in that also, like people who are not surrendered, what they say? Okay, Krishna is saying, okay, but Krishna is again saying, I am within you. So he'll say, okay, Krishna is within me also. So if I am the now I am the controller, then you worship me. Why? There is no Krishna. There is no Kurukshetra now. Okay. So that personality is not there. But he has already said, I am always there. I am in everyone's heart. So see in everyone's heart. So people, there are so many concocted ideas they get. So they will say, don't need to do what did you see because the Lord said, He's in everyone's heart. But do you see that? You don't see that. That's why you also kill the animals. So if you don't have that sight, then why are you going to that path? So it has to be understood in a way which can be like, practiced in daily life. It is not like people always say this kind of things because they do not want to do. So in excuse, they will concoct so many ideas and they will tell like this. So like that, there are so many people, they have concocted many ideas. Like recently, in one of the pastimes, Guru Maharaj was saying, like in India, anyway, there are so many self-proclaimed gods. So they're saying in Mumbai, someone was proclaiming that yeah, he is God, he is God. So some of the ISKCON's devotees they went, and one of the devotee asked, "You are saying you are God, you are God. Tell me in truth, are you God? Really, are you God? Do you accept that you are God?" So he said, like in private conversation, he said, "No, actually, I am not God." Then why do you accept? Then my disciples, out of law, they tell me God, so I accept. Okay. So just because to उनका दिल रखने के लिए उनको दिल दुखाना नहीं चाहता. That's why I accept. If they tell me, so I accept. If they say something, you will just accept. You don't know anything on that. Tomorrow, if they say something, then you will also accept. Today, they are saying God means who is God? You have not referred Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the like opulence of God? What is the power of God? Just because the disciples say you will accept. So Brahmana is saying mostly what happens, these so self-proclaimed gods, they are promoted by their disciples. Now we'll make him God. We'll make him God. So all these people, like Vena, what he had nothing. But after he was promoted, he has been enthroned as king. Then after few years, he said, "Now I have become controller." So this ignorance is so much. Before few years, they had no power, no qualification, nothing. And all of a sudden, when they get some opulences, some authorities, some power, then they feel, okay, now maybe I have become. So that is the processed ignorance. So, and he was saying, I am giving everything. I am the Ashray. So who is Ashray? Ashray Vastu is Krishna himself, the shelter. So that's why in the first sloka, in the descriptions it is like Bhagavatam's 10th 10 cantos are referring in 10 different objectives like Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Posanam, Mukti. So like that. So 10th one is Asraya Vastu. So Asraya is Sri Krishna. And everything else, everyone else is Asrit. And to explain that Asraya Vastu, that shelter object, all these 9 cantos are made. But the main purpose is the shelter object. So it is also explained, like I think Prabhupada writes that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that how Krishna is the supreme shelter. He is the supreme shelter, is the object, and everything else, even up to the Mahavishnu, the Karanodakasai Vishnu, Garbhodakasai Vishnu, Kshirodakasai Vishnu, they are also called as Asrit. But Asraya Vastu is only Krishna. The lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna is the only shelter of everything in this world or the spiritual world. There is no other one who is a shelter. So that's why, so Asraya Vastu, to explain that, that is given. So that's why at the first sloka it is mentioned like how the two tattvas, Asraya Tattva and Asrit Tattva. Everything else is Asrit. That's why if someone reads in that way, then he will not be bewildered. If anyone else claims that he is supreme, no, it cannot be possible. Only Sri Krishna. Anyone can be the next expansion. That is also Asrit on the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna Guru. So maybe we have some level of faith that is different. But as per the like what we call this analytical study of like different incarnations or the Swarup of the Lord, then we should understand that Sri Krishna is the supreme, and everything else, even if Lord's exact expansion, that is also Asrit. Lord Balram is also Asrit. But Krishna is the only Asraya. If one understands that firmly with full conviction, that everyone has accepted this, no one has rejected, no great personalities have ever rejected this, then how can else? Na bhuto na bhavishya. Neither in the past, nor in the future, nor in the current. There will be no one who can be Asraya again. A little shelter means just to facilitate. One can facilitate us, but he cannot be the supreme shelter. So that often people, if they get shelter, shelter means facilities from someone. They think, okay, he is only my supreme shelter. No, he cannot be supreme shelter. Supreme shelter is always Krishna. So in whatever way we are there, our supreme goal. That's why Prabhupada always fixed this. Only Krishna. Someone else is something else, something else. No, everything is good, but that should lead to Krishna ultimately. If that doesn't lead to Krishna ultimately at the end of everything, then that is not perfect. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to establish. Okay, you may have faith on so many different things. That is all right. But what is the ultimate? At the end of the life, we should understand Krishna is the supreme. Then that is perfect. Or otherwise, if when until and unless that has been firmly established and we are convinced on that philosophy, then we are not 100% perfect. So that is required. So that's why in that purport, like in Chaitanya Madhulila only, it's explained like the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how it says, okay, like the shelter of like Supreme Sri Krishna is the shelter. So in that, he also gives the Srimad Bhagavatam's reference 10 1458. Like Samasita ye padapallava plavam mahat padam punya yaso murare. So under the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the entire Mahat is existing. Okay? Since everything is under Krishna's protection, Sri Krishna is called Asrit Tattva. Everything else is called Asrit Tattva. Okay, everything, Mahavishnu, Bhagavad as I was saying. So to understand Krishna perfectly, one has to make the analytical study of Asrit Tattva and Asrit Tattva. Then only one can perfectly understand. Or otherwise, if someone glorifies something else, some other form, then like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say, it is not like के कभी गंगा गए तो गंगा राम बन गए, जमुना गए तो जमुना राम बन गए, कहीं गए तो कुछ बन गए. No, one has to be completely fixed, so that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always said only Krishna Siksha, Krishna Dana, no other names. That is the supreme. But if someone has other taste, that is okay. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he wanted to give the supreme thing, not any other things. So, but it is not like uh, to minimize any other incarnations or other forms of the Lords. They are also as powerful as Krishna. They will also give the love of Godhead. But if one wants to get into the supreme thing, like the saintly persons who came to Vena, okay, so they said, okay, you just facilitate everyone to do the sacrifices to Lord Vishnu, to practice their devotional services. That's it. Then you will get all perfection. If you just facilitate. But if you are envious, then everything is gone. So, but out of his own pride, he said, no, I am not envious. Actually, I see I am doing everything. I am facilitating everything to you, to the Brahmanas, to the saintly people, to the citizens, everything. But I think you are envious of me because I am giving everything, but you want to give everything to Lord Vishnu. Okay, for whom I don't see any direct intervention of these kingdoms, like maintenance and all. I am doing, so why are you envious? So the same thing nowadays, people always say, okay, you are going to the temple, what will you get there? कृष्ण क्या खाने को दे देंगे तुमको? Come and work here to Allah. Then we'll give you salary. Then you can maintain. So all these people who do not accept the supremacy of the Lord, so they say, okay, we have farm, okay, we have like jobs. So who is managing? We are managing. So indirectly, the politicians will say, okay, we are facilitating what you are industrialists. We are facilitating you so that you can run your business. They say you are only for 4 5 years. Okay, we are giving you donation and we are running indirectly. So everyone is envious of one another and supremely envious of Sri Krishna, of the Supreme Lord. So no one wants to see the invisible power. Let's say, like the Lord said, right, how he is giving Asrita, Mai Sarvam Idam Protam, Sutre Mani Ganayga. Okay, everything is sheltered under me, like on me. But how Sutre Mani Ganayga, like in the thread, the pearl is strong. So the thread is not visible, only pearls are visible. So one can say, no, there is no thread. The pearls are just like this. Okay, they are hanging like this. There is no thread, no thread. Because thread is not visible. So like that, the Lord's power is not directly visible to the naked eyes. That's why people say there is no shelter, no other shelter. We are just running and hanging by our own. And the kings or if now there is no king, the administrators, the industrialists, okay, or whoever is having one person as an employee or a servant, so he poses himself as shelter. Like Bana here is trying to pose himself as a shelter. So because the supreme shelter is invisible to the naked eyes, to the people who are not self-realized, who doesn't have any faith and knowledge on the supreme knowledge. Okay. So here we'll pause if anyone has any questions or wants to add. If I am knowingly or unknowingly speak, speak something wrong, please correct.
Just want to share something too.
Yes.
That I heard from Niranjan Maharaj that in the Russian communist, when they took it over as rulers, people had got their general population is God fearing, God loving, and they want to believe in God. So what they would do is they would the village section by section they would literally starve people and they will not give anything to eat or anything. And after so many days of starvation, they'll bring big truck load of bread and they'll put in front of them. They said, see, you are thinking God. Who is giving you the food? Who is giving you the food? So we are listening or reading this King Vena's story, but it is actually practiced.
Yes.
It is actually being practiced in the material world. We think it's just a story or it's just part of Bhagavatam. No, it is a reality. It is a mentality of an individual who really don't, as you said, don't want to recognize the authority of the Lord or how the Lord is facilitating everything. They don't want to give the credit. Krishna, they're so envious about Krishna. And that is how people became more and more atheist in that region. And then next section Maharaj is saying that when Krishna conscious devotees in disguise started going and preaching, and then they would address this small gathering of people in the village, remote village, when no one knows, and just one statement like God exists, people start crying. That God really exists. So that is the like extreme, right? Two extremes. From the point of view of being a devoted, God-loving person, to come to a understanding God doesn't exist. Only the community or communist people giving us anything. To the level that the love for God is so strong in their heart just by knowing or having that statement from ISKCON devotee or somebody Maharaj preaching in a disguise, they would start crying. So that is such a moving example when I heard. It was really amazing that how this thing has come up. Thank you. Just want to share.
Yeah, only many of the people they have like it is always said like how the king, if the king is pious, ultimately he will try to make the citizens pious. So through so many centuries, so people have been tortured and brainwashed in a way that they stop worshipping the Lord and they stop worshipping them. So that's how. Or otherwise, people in general, there will be very less atheists, but they understand that there is some supreme controller. They may not know that. Everyone doesn't have that facility to know. So that's why, like we are preaching, it should everyone should have the access. Like it is said, there are so many scriptures and all. Those were destroyed. Why? Because if the people get that, they don't worship those people. They will again worship Lord. That's why if there is any, so it is said in India when they wanted to rule over, they just destroy the education system. That is the biggest culprit. Until and unless,
Nikon. Not Nikon.
so until the time the Vedic education system, Gurukul system is there, they said even without any material progress, they will be suffice.
Yeah.
Mentally, they will be so strong, they will not accept our supremacy. So, first of all, destroy that. Don't let anyone read. Those- Make them full. Then we'll feed them all garbage in their brain. So
Also,
that's how.
twisted some of the meaning of Vedas.
Yes. So
Endologist, some of
yeah,
them.
it is like Kali's Prabhav, like the illusion is also there, and all this has to happen. So that's why, like, it takes centuries and centuries of time to change the people, but thankfully the Lord has given the Harinam. So it's even in the worst of the situation, it can sprout. The devotional, the ankur jo hai, so it can sprout.
Oh,
So that's why we should take the shelter even if we do not have all the Vedic scriptures and to go in a like full-fledged way of a Gurukul system and changing upside down the entire world. So we should take the shelter of the Harinam, Kesavad Bhagavatam as much as we have. And you can see it changes the heart of people. ग्रंथा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय जय गुरु
निकुंज बिहारी प्रभु की, इसलिए निकुंज बिहारी प्रभु की
जय